What's good, guys? It's Ilsun4K, and I want to just be the first to say Happy Friday the 13th in October. Yes, Friday the 13th in October does not always happen every year, and when it does, it's pretty badass because it's like the spookiest day of the year that can happen every so often. Now, what's really cool about this is I decided I wanted to incorporate that into a new feature on this year's Horror-Ween special, which is, of course, a month-long celebration of horror movies that take place on or around Halloween, right here on ILTV, where if it's pop culture, you know it pops up here. We have Found Footage Fridays. Yes, we're going to start showcasing some movies on Fridays that are found footage, but we're going to kick it off during the Horror-Ween special and actually do it with a found footage film that does take place around or on Halloween, and that is a movie called Hell House LLC, and we're going to talk about it right now. So here's the one thing about Hell House LLC that's really clever, because when I first saw it, I thought, how many films have actually tackled the subject matter of this horror movie, and something that can only take place around Halloween at that is haunted houses. Yes. That's right, this is a movie about a haunted house, but it's not about people going to a haunted house, it's about people trying to set up the ultimate haunted house in the ultimate location, and how disastrously wrong it can really go. And again, if you really sit and think about it, outside of, like, of course, the Disney's Haunted Mansion, when was the last time there was a horror movie that was about haunted houses, and why are there so few, given this was such an in-your-face topic that could have been a matter of a movie a long time ago? And just so when I say haunted house, you guys understand what I mean as in the yearly Halloween attraction that comes around where people pay to get scared inside of a house. Not a haunted house like The Haunting or House on Haunted Hill, just so we understand what we mean here. Again, this is a really cleverly done found footage film, and I can't wait to talk about it with you. So if you're looking forward to this, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel, and stick around and check out the rest of the Horror-Ween special coming this month. Thanks for watching. So I have to be honest with you, this movie is actually 90% found footage, the other 10% is mockumentary, which is how the whole thing opens up, with a whole interview process being asked what happened the fateful night on the opening of Hell House LLC, indicating that this takes place after the events we're about to watch in the movie. There's a bunch of interviewees, as there always is with these, asking people questions, and they eventually come across a sole survivor from Hell House, who actually happens to be in, guess what? Possession of tapes that no one's ever seen before. So the woman hands them over to the individual, and the individual starts reviewing the tapes, and that's what we start watching right now. So after this woman hands over the tapes to the interviewers, they start going through the tapes, and we start seeing the footage of how this all came to be. We see the individuals who run Hell House LLC arriving at the Abaddon Hotel, which is the location of where all this mayhem takes place, and how they came about coming up with the ideas of where to put things, and it shows them discussing amongst themselves as personal friends how they're not sure if this year's haunted house that's not in New York City for the first time is going to do as well as the one in New York City. It seems everybody's pretty positive and uplifted. It gets to a point where they start decorating the house, as you would imagine. Lots of hanging decorations and fog and strobe light effects. But as they start decorating and showing what's going on with this house, a lot of mayhem slowly starts to build. Decorations seem to be moving and going out of place on their own. It seems that strobe light effects are doing a little bit more than they imagined. And it gets overall to the point where everybody just starts getting really freaked out by the fact this can't just be simple malfunctions and that something really is wrong with this area. It later comes out that, of course, something did happen at this area that I'm not going to spoil for anybody, because not a lot of people have seen this film. It turns out something did happen at this location, and he did not disclose it to the individuals that were hired about how it was all going down and why he specifically picked this location. Eventually, they get to the point where they hire actors and outside people who weren't part of the initial setup, and the Hell House LLC is ready to go until the fateful night where things just go down and go absolutely so ballistic and off the wall. I don't want to spoil it here for you. The crazy part about this film and the plot is the fact that it eventually does cut back to the mockumentary footage, and it shows the interviewees being asked questions again, and that has its own ending that's really creepy and spooky and well done as well. So that's why you really need to watch it, because I can't say anything more about the plot without basically giving away the great endings and how much effort was put into making these endings awesome. Again, the plot is awesome and well thought out, and not one you see very often in the horror genre. So my review on this is actually, I gotta say, this movie is a cult classic and deserves the cult following it has. Not everybody seems to know about Hell House LLC, but this thing actually has high ratings on IMDb and Rotten Tomatoes for its creativity and other affairs, because creative is a great word I would use to describe this film, because I'm just not sure if the reason why I don't see a lot of haunted house movies gone wrong is because if you tried making one with regular film, it might not work, but the found footage affair seems to be able to add to that. To top it off, the fact that this movie takes place as a mockumentary that's already being filmed after the tragedy at Hell House is even better because it creates this like small juggling act that really keeps you entranced in believing that everything you're seeing is kind of real, even though we know it's fake, because its execution is just so well done and it's flawless and seamless between everything. The fact that this movie has such a slow tension and build that you really just can't help but just want to have it crawl out of your skin is even more fascinating because it starts out as people thinking people are just pranking each other while building a haunted house because they create the environment and atmosphere that that's what they did in the past. They pranked each other. But when things start becoming so uncomfortable and crazy that it's undeniable something is going wrong, and the only individual who really doesn't want to shut the project down is the head guy who always seems to be the most headstrong one and just believes it's everybody messing with everybody, how he just naturally creates this element of, you fool, and you just want to run in there and slap him and fix the damn problem yourself and explain to him it's not people pranking around, but he refuses to hear that. And the execution of everything after that, including the ending, which has 2 twist endings, one for the mockumentary and one for the found footage side of things. Again, they did a really good job in these little subtle details that they didn't have to do because there was no need to give them 2 twist endings like they did. But they did, and you need to really watch this because they're so well done. Again, Hell House is a unique affair because it tackles a subject matter that you don't really see being tackled often, and they went about executing it flawlessly. Again, 10 out of 10 easily. You need to watch this film. You know, I gotta tell you, in the world of horror, sometimes I feel like liking found footage films and being open about it is like a guilty pleasure. Because found footage is definitely a genre that's more missed than hits by the tiniest amount. And I mean, it's just a tiny bit more misses than hits in my opinion, but the hits are undeniable. From the beginning of the Blair Witch Project, which came out when I was 13, I've kind of seen the birth of this genre and the progression of it. So Hell House LLC really showing me like a pinnacle moment in the genre really was amazing to me. Everything about this film is just what a found footage film should be. It's organic with the acting and the dialogue. Everybody communicates normally, and when the weird shit starts going down, we see the individual personalities of each individual come out. Despite the fact that we know they're actors, just watching how the scared ones are scared, the brave ones are brave, and the neutral ones just kind of roll over to keep from having problems. All that's really organic and well done in this film, and it's another reason why you have to watch it. Mockumentary side of it is very good as well. I definitely think you should check that out. I think the way they executed that with these fake experts was just hilariously well done. And you gotta remember, guys, make sure you enjoy a haunted house this year, because every year there are 2,500 haunted houses that go up. So make sure you go. I know I have plans to go. But also, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. And thanks for sticking around and watching this review of Hell House LLC on my channel here during my Horror-Ween 2 special, which is, of course, a month-long celebration of horror movies that take place on Halloween. And again, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel, and also make sure you catch me every night, Thursday night, 9 p.m., twitch.tv/illtv4k, doing horror gaming during the main stream. I normally multi-stream that here on YouTube as well now. The experiments have been going good, much like a Frankenstein project. But again, guys, thanks for watching. And remember, it's IllTV, where if it's pop culture, it pops up here. You're watching IllTV, where if it's pop culture, you know it pops up here.